Wholesaling on the MLS sucks. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And in today's video, we're going to share exactly why wholesaling on the MLS absolutely sucks and why most people are terrible at it. And really what we're going to do today is have a debate on if you should wholesale properties on market or you should just do off market wholesaling, right? And from the beginning of this conversation, we might seem a little biased, right? But I want you guys to hear me out. I want you guys to understand where we're coming from so you can exclusively know if you should do off market or on market or off market wholesaling real estate. And at the end of the video, I will show you how to wholesale MLS properties if you don't want to suck at it. Also, we'll show you the best of both worlds. Obviously, I think one's a little better than the other, but ultimately it's up to you. But before I get into it, do us a big favor. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and let's talk about it. Right? So guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below your questions. But I'm not a big fan of wholesaling MLS properties. So, I mean, what do you think?
I thought MLS, what's MLS stand for?
Multiple listing service?
And who facilitates it? Agents,
NAR, right?
Brokers,
Yeah.
NAR, brokers, agents. I've got an opinion on it, but I'm going to save it for a little while.
Let's talk about it. But, guys, before we get into it, you already know we got to hype you up. We got to get you ready. We're going to have some angry realtors in here. I know. Hey, I'm going to get a realtor mad today.
You might get a realtor / wholesaler mad.
We might get some people mad today. And I'm here to hear what your opinions are. We're here to debate the audience if you have questions on it. But we're going to explain exactly why we're right. And then we'll debate with you and see what happens. But guys, this is gonna be a fun one. This is gonna be a very interesting one and very eye-opening because a lot of people are saying wholesale in the MLS only, wholesale in the MLS only. It's getting pushed harder this year from everyone than I've ever seen it.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of funny. We're gonna explain the whole thing. We're gonna reveal some things and share some industry secrets. But guys, let's get it going. Let's get it. Guys, I'm telling you, we're ready to break this down. We're ready to share it and we're ready to get some people a little upset at what we got to say. But hey, I'm okay with it. I am perfectly comfortable in my seat of where I'm at and where I stand on this issue. And let's talk about this. Let's really break it down on market, off market. Does MLS suck? Does it not? We got to figure this out, right? We really got to figure out what we're going to do the right way. So let's talk about this and let's really break everything down. So let's talk about the first thing you have to understand. All right. Why is wholesaling MLS properties super easy and sexy and best thing ever, right? You're getting that a lot, right? And you're getting a lot of people talking about this, right? So I think the first thing you got to talk about is a lot of people think wholesaling MLS properties is the sexiest new thing in the world. And the truth is it's very sexy for a lot of newbies and it's very attractive because they make this argument, right? Properties are just right there and you make offers on them and they're just like motivated sellers. Except there's no marketing and it's all the pros and there's zero cons at all.
No skip tracing, right?
No skip tracing. No, it's just so easy, right?
And you know what the price is.
And you know what the price is. There's no comping.
How hard can it be?
It's so easy. And the truth is everyone goes in there, they buy the course, they start it's so simple. Oh, it's the easiest thing in the world. Oh my gosh. And they actually start doing it. And it's like, whoa, this is actually harder than off-market real estate. And a lot of people don't get told that, right? And if you are not a real estate agent, you also have a huge con on your back. You have a huge respect issue thing. And we'll get into the whole thing.
You're not in the club.
But wholesaling MLS properties is really sexy from the outside, right? It's really attractive. It's really nice. Everyone gets all excited. It's like when you're saying, oh, I'm going to get a six-pack. Yeah, I'm going to get a six-pack. And then about month 2, eating right, working out is like, oh my gosh, This is not as fun as I thought, right? I thought I did 2 sit-ups and that's it. Most people do 2 sit-ups and, drink this smoothie and you get a six. That's what wholesaling on the MLS looks like. It looks super sexy and easy and it's going to change the world. It's a lot more different than you think. And we're going to explain why and really break it down. But guys, I'm telling you, there's a huge difference.
Yeah, full disclosure, everyone, you can technically do a wholesale deal off the MLS.
We
We're
do
not saying
wholesaling
you
deals on
can't
the
do
MLS.
it. I'm just telling you, man. I'm going to give you the truth of it because all you guys do is get the pitch. It is the perfect pitch. It's easy. You don't skip trays. Everybody wants to sell. You know the price. It's perfect for a course, isn't it?
I mean, there's a lot of people that sell courses.
It's perfect. And that's the problem. This course, I guarantee you, will have the highest failure rate of anything else sold on it because number one, the strategy's been around forever. Number two, this is not, if you are brand new, never done a deal before, this might be the hardest route you can physically take. It appears super easy up front, but let's go into it and tell you why.
I want to give you one disclosure, okay? Let me give you one big disclosure. We have done deals on the MLS and we still do deals on the MLS, okay? We are a different breed of wholesaler though than the average. Number 2, I know a decent amount of people, not like hundreds, but on the count of my hand, I can count honestly my toes, my hands and my toes, at least 20. I know 20 people at most that make over 6 figures a year wholesaling on the MLS. So it's not a thing that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It is completely possible. But this is something where I'm speaking to the people in general. It's like talking about being in the NBA. Like we know a lot of NBA players, right? Oh, right. That means it's easy. I know over 100 NBA players. It must be easy being in the NBA, right?
It's hard.
No, it's hard. The NBA players, are really, really good because you think of all the NCAA players and all the high school players and all the AAU kids, right? You only know about the good ones. You don't know about the ones that fail. And we kind of talk about it like that. It's like, it's a lot easier to become an accountant than it is to become an NBA player, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people kind of take the top and they think that's the average person or that's what I can be too. And that's a good thing to strive for. But, I've seen, because I researched for this video, I looked through 30 MLS wholesaling courses that being pitched and
30.
All from $500 to 30,000, right? There's some people that are legit, like the people I know. There's a couple of people I know of and know that they sell MLS wholesaling courses and they actually know what they're doing, but still it's a high failure rate. And I'm not saying anything bad about people that sell courses like that. I'll leave that to the people, but I just think there's better route. And I don't think MLS wholesaling is something that you should be doing. And this is my opinion.
It's the toughest route as a newbie,
Yeah.
period. I'm sorry. It's the truth. You guys aren't going to be told that because the marketing pitch is so perfect. You got to buy just to figure it out. The problem is you're going to be one stuck with the problem. In my opinion, you could go straight. Well, I'll share my opinion on it. I'm an off-market guy. I've been doing this 21 years, guys. If I could just go to MLS and save all the marketing stuff, I would do it. The reality is it's just there are a few and far few between. Those properties go to realtors for a reason for the most part. Yes, you might find a mistake. You might occasionally find one that's motivated, but the amount of drama you're going to have to go through.
I agree. A lot of people try and be like Kobe. They watch Kobe play basketball and they're like, you know what? I'm going to do pickup. I'm going to play just like Kobe. Guess what happens when you try to do a 3-pointer while running in a corner and shoot? It ain't going to make it. And you're like, wait, but I thought Kobe did it. I can do it. No, it's a little different, right? So let's talk about the average person trying to make their first 100K in wholesaling real estate. Like MLS wholesaling is not for the faint of heart. As someone that does MLS wholesaling, it is not for the faint of heart for most people. So let's talk about it. Let's really get a little debate going. And if anyone in the comments, I would love for somebody in the comments who has a different opinion from me to DM me right now. I have my phone on me. 100K in HUDs in 2022 of MLS wholesaling deal. Just show it to me and I will accept you on a debate stage to debate you right now on this. Now, if you're saying MLS wholesaling is the best and you haven't made 100K this year in wholesaling MLS properties in the past 12 months, that's it.
And it has to qualify as a wholesale deal. Don't give me your fix and flips. And if you can throw 100K on one of them,
it's a wholesale deal.
Wholesale. You assigned it.
And I'm saying this in the nicest way. The only two people that will ever counter our opinion on this video today. Number one, the only person that will counter is someone who's making 100K wholesaling MLS properties.
Got it.
Or somebody selling a course.
Probably making $1 million on it.
I mean, it's somebody selling a course on wholesaling MLS properties.
That's it.
That is going to be the only two people that are not going to agree with me. And I never allow someone who sells courses on. So if you're somebody that does 100K in wholesaling MLS properties, I'd love to talk about it. And if you are not in any of those camps, then there's no point in debating you. I'm just being honest. Because I'm on the off-market side and I made over 100K this month in wholesaling off-market property. So I'll be on team off-market. Let's see if someone team on-market can talk to me. You can't sell a course and you have to make at least 100K. Just send the DMs.
You're going to wipe most of them out there on the course part.
That's the point. So let's talk about it. Let's break down what we think are the pros and cons of on-market. Then we'll go pros and cons.
So guys, think about this. When somebody puts a property on the market in MLS, they've met with a realtor. They've talked about the highest possible price because that's how realtors get listing. And then they went through there for taking the picture, get the house ready. Maybe they staged it. Maybe like you really expect a majority of people just go, okay, I give up. I can't sell it right now. It's just, you have to go through so much. So understand the mentality when someone puts a property on MLS, they went out and seek a realtor or a broker. So you have to understand now you're going to try to convince that person to do the complete opposite. That's what you have to understand. So you always have to think like your sellers so you can understand why MLS. All the time, I tell people all the time, why don't you just put it on MLS? When they put it on MLS, I know I'm pretty much over. I know a certain percentage will fall through the crack. Are you willing to make thousands and thousands of calls, tens of thousands of emails, and tons of contracts? Because that's what all these, by the way, all my properties, every time we put them on the market, I probably get 12 of the exact same contracts. They all come from the same people. And I haven't given them the time of day in 20 years. So I get annoyed with this part of the business. Go out there and find motivated sellers on off-market properties. You'll have all the deals you want. Like you'd rather work that. But MLS, that's crazy, man.
So let's talk about this before we get into the pros and cons, because you remind me of one thing. All right. Let me share that. This is a very interesting statistic, but it's a true one. It's honestly even more than this. I want you guys to just remember this for a second. 95% of all houses, all home sales will never be deals.
95%.
And what do I mean by this? Let me explain this for a second for you guys thinking like, wait, what do you mean by that? That's right. 95% of people selling a property want the most for it. That's the truth. So when I go out here wholesaler, let's say I try to sell an old skateboard. I probably want the most for it. I don't want to sell my skateboard for a deep discount. If I sell a used computer, I don't want it. If I spent $3,000 on it, I'm not going to want to sell it for the least price. If I ever sell my truck, do you think I'm going to take it for a severe discount? No, I want the most for it relatively, right? It's not going to be a good investment flip for most people when I sell it. I'm going to sell it for market price. I want you guys to understand that real estate is the biggest investment most people ever make in their entire lives. So it makes sense. Most people, 95%, will want the most for it. And they go with realtors. It's listed on the market. That is how real estate works. I think about my grandma. I love my grandma, right? If she wants to sell a property because of her retirement and stuff, she probably deserves the most for it. She takes care of her house. My grandma and grandpa, they take care of their house. It's not a pigsty. It's not distressed. You know what? They take care of it. It's a nice house. It's not a good deal. And she's going to want the most for it, right? Yeah. So like that's 95% of people. They don't have termite damage, like all these crazy stuff, okay? That being said, if we know that 5% are the ugly houses, the motivated seller, just think of that for a second. It's like, whoa, wait a second. If I can only do 5%, that's crazy, right? I want you to understand that 99% of deals on the MLS will never be deals. 99 point something probably, right?
Yeah, it's probably higher than
now,
that.
if you look at off-market properties sold, it's close to like 60-40, 50-50, because off-market's very small. But you got to remember, so this is what the people say, 90% of all deals are sold through the MLS, and you're only wholesaling 10% of the deals. You're missing out on this entire array of deals. But the number you really have to look at is how many properties are, so the essence of wholesaling real estate, and I'll debate anybody on this definition, is to put a property under contract for below what it's actually worth.
In today's real estate market.
Today. And then selling that contract to a cash buyer for a profit, an assignment fee, a finder's fee, whatever you want to call it. That is wholesaling real estate. That is what it is truly at its essence, at its core. And so if you know it at its core, the point is getting properties under contract for below what it's actually worth. The only amount of people that will do that are people that are motivated sellers because they have a reason. I just want to get rid of it for cash. And the sellers accept that they're getting rid of it for the speed, the easiness of just selling it for cash. That's 5%. And 5% are not actually deals. Those are just deals that you can do, right? There's a motivation with the person or motivation with the house. So that being said, properties that are going to be able to be sold at deep discounts, over 80% of them are always going to be off market. I'd say 90%, and only 10% are on market. So why am I going to go after only 10% of all really good deals? It's crazy. And I got to compete with realtors on those too. It's crazy. But guys, when you guys understand that most properties will never be deals. And so when you're going on the MLS, you have to sift through these 95. When you do off market, you don't have to go through the 95% of the sifting and the going through it. And I just want everybody to understand that, like, if I get a list, for example, of every property in my zip code where I live, if it's a nicer part of town, it's going to be like 98% never going to be a deal, right? 98, 99. There's some older houses, I guess, but like 98, 99, right? Now, if I get a list of all tax delinquencies in my zip code, that number probably goes to, I would probably say 60, 40% could be deals. And that's the point of pulling a list. I hope you guys like why we say to pull lists, but like when you pull lists, that 95% turns into like 80%. And that just gives us more extra deals to get it. So that's kind of what we do it. Okay. It's amazing how many people do this, but like, I want you guys to understand this. All right. And so let's kind of talk about the pros and cons. Okay. And let's get into it. All right. Let's talk about the on market. There are pros to on market, and the people that do it well, they will explain these pros. There are more properties theoretically of people wanting to sell on the MLS.
Correct.
That is a fact. That is something I will not debate with anyone. That is absolutely true. You will be able to make more offers on the MLS than off market, hands down.
Feels good.
You know, we're not going to even bring out the cons, but it's true. It's cheap marketing. It's true, right? Like outside of being a realtor, because that has a bunch of costs, but like it's pretty much cheap. It's cheap marketing to a point. Like costs pretty much $0. And if you have like PropStream, you can even go on the MLS and do it, and ZachData.com. But like that's the attractiveness. More offers, everything like that. Now let's talk about the con.
That was a short pros list.
It's big pros. It's easy. The problem is I would say it's easier, but it's not easier. It sounds easier on paper, but in execution, it's actually more difficult.
MLS is designed for realtors, just so you guys know. It was never designed for wholesalers.
It's designed for the 95% to get it best price possible. Because
the best price today. Most people buy a house. They want the best deal today. Go find me something today. Us wholesalers, we need discounted property. So most people on MLS, they'll buy a property today, sell it in 5 years, and they go, I made $100,000. You didn't make $100,000. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
So the idea is we're going to try to take the theory of an MLS, get someone to accept not not market price today, a discounted rate so you can go ahead and wholesale it. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to find the comments. I haven't found one person say they made 100K yet. I'm just telling everyone.
and listen, you can get a deal or two. Don't get me wrong, but you are not.
But that effort on our market, probably
consistently is going to. It's going to burn. I guarantee it'll burn you out.
So let's talk about it. We got to get into it because we can go forever on this one.
Yeah.
But let's see. All right, let's go. All right, cons list. Number one, the closing rate is terrible, and it is one of the worst closing rates ever. When you give an offer,
I wouldn't even give a percentage because I think if it was double digit, I'd be shocked.
Most people have to give 100 offers before they even get one. People even think about it. Number two, there's a huge EMD issue no one ever talks about. When you deal with off market, you control the deal. My title company, you deal with my rules, everything like this. I determine the EMD. With a realtor, they control the deal.
Yeah.
Hey, in realtor land, which is it's a fantasy world of mass proportion.
Everything's perfect.
They have their own language. They speak a different language too. But like they'll say, hey, we need 2% EMD, and they will not budge on that. Sellers don't do that.
Choose the minimum, and they'll go as high as 5
because that's what they're taught.
Well, that's what their broker taught them. I'm just telling you guys, if you are broke or you're doing this with none of your own money, how are you going to get past this on MLS? And listen, by the way, they are not going to buy your fake POF from your hard money lender. They've seen enough of them. They know exactly what it looks like. So if you're trying to use your hustle and grind method, you try this strategy, understanding they're going to usually require a couple $1,000s up front for you. Like, how are you going to get through that?
And let's be honest with you, like we have some properties on the MLS right now, and from the deals we've sold on the MLS, we sniff out hard money all day, every day. I mean, it's so easy. And I'm not a realtor. I just look at the contract. I'm like, wait, proof of fund? No, that's EMD, right? Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so you're going to need 1,000 to 2,000 EMD all day.
That's earnest money deposit. If you're wondering what the
so for wholesaling.com, learn that. But like, that's a huge issue, and that puts a lot of wholesalers out.
So if you're broke, the strategy is they go, well, I'll just get the money from my buyer. You're not going to be able to play this game with realtors and brokers. They will know exactly what you're doing.
Oh, but I'll do it after the inspection. Realtors are not.
They don't do that.
Stupid.
Like, honestly, I would never. My properties I put on with my company, I would never. Like, you got to put the money up.
Yeah, guys, it's like dealing with a savvy investor for every deal.
Yeah, you can't. Like, these people, this isn't the first time they've heard someone pitch them this idea.
So let's go next year. There's a gatekeeper.
Ooh.
So remember this, with a gatekeeper, you have to close 2x more people than in wholesaling real estate. So let's get back to the gatekeeper part, right?
Yeah.
In wholesaling real estate, we close the seller, right? In on market, you close 2 people. You have to close the realtor to even present that offer. Because remember, it's going to be a lowball offer. Yeah. And number 2, the seller has to accept those terms. Now, here's the thing. There is an attractive part in MLS wholesaling, which is, I'll tell you, the dual agency. That is another pro. Yeah. I'm not calling it a pro because not every state can do it, but hey, Mr. Realtor, be my buyer's agent and my seller's agent. That will bring the realtor on board. But the issue is with a MLS property, like you still have to get the seller to accept it. Now, I'll tell you, if you want to wholesale MLS the correct way, which we'll break down at the end, if you do really ugly houses, you have a chance with dual agency that's just sitting there, but you got to be careful with it because still there's a lot of competition. Now, there's realtor drama.
Hold on. Before you go on this one, keep in mind with this, I don't even have the stats. I should have pulled them up. How many realtors are across the country? It's an insane amount. Everyone's a licensed realtor. The average transaction a realtor does is like less than 2 a year. It's like 1.5. Okay. So I would like to, this is a lot like when you get frustrated on getting some of the government lists. This is that problem. It's like 100 times worse. So now you got to deal with multiple realtors. Some of them have never even listed one property or 2. So you get a lot of people with very little experience, and then they have their persona. This is the gatekeeper. What do they call those weak guys standing at gates? Are they gargoyles or gargoyles?
Gargoyles. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm telling you, man, this part alone takes me out because I have zero patience for inexperienced realtors. Like, there is like just the only qualification is they have a license, which doesn't mean they know how to negotiate, do it. And you have to get past this person first. And it's challenging because you have so many realtors out there. The odds of dealing with the same realtors, like if you get good in your local market, you might do it. But for the most part, you're going to have a new realtor every listing. Half the time, guys, I can't even get them to return an email or a phone call. It's so painful. And then, so sometimes the realtors a little bit cray-cray, like don't take it personal, but there's some, and they have their own set way. 5% of the time, they don't submit it to their sellers. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it's the truth. Then if you get past the realtor, then you might have a crazy seller on top of that. And you guys know how that works with off market. So a lot of times it's the realtor that's usually running the show. And then if you get past the realtor, you got to get the owner to take a substantial cut. And the challenge is that realtor has to explain to that seller why you need to take the 20 or 30% discount. And sometimes if the realtor does that, they risk being fired from the listing. And I want you to understand how that works. And so you have to get through 2 layers of gatekeepers gatekeepers. And for that, it's painful enough to deal with some homeowners, but throw in like an unrealistic realtor. I recently had a deal with a realtor's like, it was a small deal. I usually never leave more than 1,000, 1,500. She demanded $15,000. Like I go, that's 10% of the ask price. She goes, those are my rules. And she would not submit my offer. I just gave up. And then if you think you're going to go around and talk to the homeowner, it's only going to get worse because they share all the information and you shouldn't. But I'm just telling you, the gatekeeper thing to me is the number one thing that is going to prevent most of you. And number two, keep in mind, now you're talking to a realtor. They're going to speak in a different language. And if you use the word wholesaler with a realtor, you're going to be instantly vilified.
Exactly.
And so if you don't have the experience to talk to these agents and brokers, they're going to eat you for lunch. And that's the challenge with it. If I'm brand new and I go into this arena, you have to understand EMD, you have to understand inspections, appraisals. They're going to throw every word out at you. And for that most part, I'm just telling you guys, it's really tough. In my business, I do occasional MLS deals. They fall in my lap, but by the end of this, I'll teach you a way to like really do it.
Exactly. So your guy at the dock dropped yellow.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's go to the next part here. Drama. Okay. Realtors bring a lot of drama and we kind of got to get through this list. So we're trying to get through this.
Bell?
What?
Is that who rang the bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, the tuna. It's like 4 pounds of tuna. All right. We did a little bit of fishing today. A little fishing last night. Yeah. So let's talk about the next part here. No control. You have no control with the deal. And I want you guys to understand that's the biggest part with the wholesaling MLS properties that suck is you have no control of the deal. And if you can't control the title company, right? So this is the big part. We have a title company issue where most sellers, they don't deal with their title company on MLS properties. Oh, but if you can tell them we'll pay for title and do all this stuff, it's fine. But a lot of realtors will not. Like we have some of the top realtors in our own county. They are exclusive to their own title company because you know why? They own the title company or their partners or their broker. And they'll only deal with their title company because they're friends with Sally Sue and there's no way to go around it.
They're very strict on this, by the way. Like their bond with their title companies. Remember, these are title companies that are geared towards doing 99% of deals with retail realtors.
If the realtor loves this title company, you know why? Because it's a boutique realtor title company.
They take care of me.
They take care of the realtor.
Yeah.
Guess who they don't like?
Yeah,
they don't like the dirty old wholesalers, right? Because there's investment title companies and there's wholesaling title companies.
So the minute you say, hey, listen, I have to use my title company, is what you teach you, you're going to upset the realtor and you're not going to get the deal just over that one little fact.
And then their friends are going to be like, wait, you sold that house not using mine. And then they don't like it. Number two, you get no respect from realtors. And I will tell you this straight up. Unless you are here to make a realtor money, they will not respect you. I would love for you guys to have conversation. If you are not a realtor and you talk to someone that's a realtor, you are not in their club, they will not respect you in the conversation or in person. You want to do a little thought experiment. Talk to somebody that is in a part of an exclusive club that they think is, and if you're not part of it, they respect you a lot less. Yeah. So if I try to talk about nutrition to a vegan and I'm not a vegan, they will not respect you in this conversation. That might be nice. I made this analogy once and I'll let everybody know. I made this analogy once that why do realtors want you to be realtors? Because they're realtors. So I say, if you talk to a vegan, they're going to convince you to be a vegan. And that's how it works. CrossFit, they won't be eating CrossFit.
Yeah.
That's
the only way you can do it.
You know, prove my point. I had 4 angry comments. Yeah, but the truth is veganism is right. And this guy went on a 4-paragraph rant and then 3 other people want to rant about veganism's the best. I'm like, you just proved my point, right? That like everyone, if you're a vegan, you try to convince everyone to be a vegan. If you're in this little thing, you convince everybody to go in this like club.
I don't know. There's some sort of phenomenon. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is not going to be popular, but there's some sort of phenomenon like people like want to recruit everyone to get their real estate license and they act like it's this magical key. It's going to open up all these doors. I'm here to tell you, man, I never got into wholesaling to get my real estate license. I get it. If you're a real estate agent and you convert and you already had it, okay, so be it. Like that's probably worth it and keep it. But these people that are trying to convert you, like think about it. I don't have I don't have my Series 7 license because I don't flip stocks. I buy them, but I don't like, are you going to go get a license? If you got a license in everything in your life because they'll be accepted, like you are going to get exhausted and you're going to go broke trying to stay educated and pay all the fees. Getting your real estate license is not going to help you, in my opinion, anymore in wholesaling unless it gets you around some sort of strict law in your state. That's it. I've always said it. I don't understand why. So now you want to speak to realtor like, oh, I got to go get a license. Like, listen, you go get your license, you're going to eventually wind up being a realtor 9 times out of 10.
So yeah, people are part of clubs. If you're not part of their club, they're not going to respect you or they're going to try to convince you to join the side. One of the example I had last week, I was wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt and then I had 2 guys at the gym who I know, once they figure out that I like Dragon Ball Z, they said, you need to watch One Piece. It's the greatest thing on earth. It's the club you have to join. You have to watch this show. And they will convince you to watch this show. It's like people do that. They see see like a type of show, they're like, you have to watch this one because they watched it and they liked it. You need to do it too. Same thing with the real. And so I'm telling you guys, like people are part of clubs. The last part here is, and there is some cons, but this is probably, I think, one of the main ones I think a lot of people don't understand, but
right behind the gatekeeper.
There is a cash buyer FOMO on the list price. And what is FOMO? FOMO is short for the fear of missing out. And the fear of missing out is basically, so this is like Zillow for sale by owners. Everyone's trying to do a Zillow for sale by owner. And the truth is there's a big FOMO factor. And so if you do not get a good enough discount on your wholesaling deals, especially on MLS, your cash buyer is going to be like, no, I could have gotten this myself. So I see a lot of people. I got a deal on MLS. It was listed for 100K. I locked it up for 94. Like 94. It's like the cash buyer could have probably locked it up for 90, just giving an offer.
Yeah, just a basic negotiation.
Guys, in wholesaling, cash buyers give us assignment fees because we got such a big discount that they could have never done it without us. That's how we provide value to the marketplace. If you get a deal that's not a deep discount on a MLS property, your cash buyer is going to be like, I could have done this myself, and you won't get the assignment fee, or they'll wait you out and then negotiate on that property. You have to get such a stinking low discount. They're like, whoa, you know what? That's great. Yeah. Same thing with MLS. Same thing with Zillow for sale by owners. That's why you do a Zillow for sale by owner. You have to get 70% of the listing price, because if you get anything above that, then they know they could have done it themselves, a cash buyer, and they don't want to buy the deal.
Guys, I get these emails all day long and I get texts. I'll get an address, a property's under contract. I look it up. The first thing that pops up, do you know what's going to dominate the search results? NAR, National Association of Realtors. And you have the listing right there, $225,000. And someone's offering me for $221,000. I'm like, you got to be like, what the hell am I going to, what am I going to be able to do with that? And that's the challenge when we have deals like that. I don't know about you, but like if somebody offered it to you and you saw a slight discount off the MLS price, it's going to kill 99% of your cash buyers right then and there. Yeah. It's over. Like I would do the same thing. I just don't understand this. I will tell you, there was a small opportunity to really run with like MLS back in 2009. Like that was an anomaly. We are nowhere near that right now. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it's interesting the way you do it. But yeah, I'm telling you, for a lot of people, they think MLS wholesaling is the best.
So if it's listed at 220, your cash buyer is going to want to see it at like 170, 175. And they go, okay, cool, because I can only get it for this on the market. You got it for that. But if they see a slight difference or worse, the same price, they're not going to believe what you're doing.
Exactly. So let's kind of talk about the pros of off-market wholesaling. Now, there's plenty of pros on there. I think I can talk about the pros all day, every day, right? Like, let's talk about it. So the first pro of off-market wholesaling, which I don't even know why I have to even bring this up, but you can do $100 EMD, you do $0 EMD, you control the deal. You do whatever EMD you want. There's no issue with it. Next, there's a great closing rate. When you give an offer to somebody on an off-market property, the closing rate is 50 to 60 times higher than an off-market deal. That's just a virtual offer over the phone versus a realtor, because there's no gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Next part, there is what we call the cash buyer mystery factor. That's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
There is a mystery with a cash buyer when you send them a deal. What I mean by this is you can make a profit on a bad deal off-market wholesale. Nobody ever talks about this, right? You could make profit on a bad wholesaling deal. And that is why it worked really well. That's why I love it, right? Yeah. Because on a bad wholesaling deal, there's a mystery of the cash buyer. It's like, well, the problem is once there's a listing price, the word is out that deal is not selling. It's been listed for like 50 days at that price. It's not moving. And so no one's going to overpay for the deal. I've had cash buyers overpay for my deals, and they're like rental properties, so they're still making money off of it, right?
Yeah.
So it works really well. So I can tell you guys, there is a mystery factor when it comes to your cash buyers when selling off-market properties. It's like you could sell a bad deal. You cannot sell a bad deal on market.
Now, once you publicly display how long it's been on the market, the price, and any type of reductions, like the expectations already set. No, there's nothing you can say to that cash buyer to exceed what it says on MLS. And honestly, it's probably one of the biggest complaints I see from people we work with. I'm trying to do all market properties, but I'm having problems because the price is out there publicly. You have to have a substantial discount off that price. Now, some of you go, well, it's already been so discounted by the realtor. No, that is for market price. So if the house needed $50,000 damage, it's still on the market at $220 and nobody buys it, it means the market says it's overpriced. So your reduction you're going to have a massive reduction to induce your cash buyer.
Yeah,
there's no way around it.
I'm still looking for one person that can prove that. I haven't found one yet, but
isn't that crazy?
Hey, we're still looking.
The reality is these MLS like you can do it. You can also climb Mount Everest too. I'm not sure you're going to survive, but you can attempt it. I would never tie this strategy as a newbie. I think it's a reckless teaching. And guys, me and Zach are the only ones to come out here and publicly just tell you the truth. There has never been a voice in the wholesaling community that counteracts these ridiculous claims that gurus gurus make. Once again, you can do MLS. Can you make a career out of it as a newbie? I've yet to see anyone that has done it from day one to start. If you're established and then
there are some people that have, I do know some people that have,
but it's a very niched out market and they know their market. As a newbie, it's very tough to do.
We can talk. So let's talk about the free market and capitalism when it comes to wholesaling real estate. Okay. Because wholesaling real estate goes off of a free market. I have a property under contract. I sell that contract. It's a free market. I make moolah. That's money. So the top wholesalers, all of them basically do off market only. And there are some that do off market, a little bit of on market and off market together. But really, when you look at things, if I can only name 20, and that's after a lot of research, wholesalers that are doing MLS over 6 figures, okay, every year, consistently. Now, if I go to the people making over 6 figures consistently in off market, I probably have 20 that DM me this week, okay, that just thanking me for teaching them. That's only my little niched out people I teach in wholesaling real estate. The amount of people making over 6 figures in wholesaling real estate off market is disgustingly high. Like, it's insane. Here's the thing. If wholesaling MLS properties was this crazy big secret in the world, and everyone is just keeping this the most crazy secret in the world, word would have gotten out. Everyone would just be making all this money. Here's the thing. Let me give you a big example. There used to be this secret marketing strategy where it was extremely cheap. You were able to get 2 to 3 deals a month with only paying $500, and there was no competition. And eventually got saturated. You know what this was? SMS text blasting. Yeah. Remember, I was 19 years old, and you're like, why are you spending all this money on that? I'm like, hey, this company called Lead Sherpa for $500 a month. I had unlimited texting. Now they don't do unlimited texting anymore because this was back in the good old days, like 4 years ago, 2019. I was able to send 4,000 or 5,000 texts a day for $500 a month. It was the most amazing. And guess what? Word came out that I started doing really well with it. Everyone started doing well with it. And guess what happened? It got saturated, but word went out. And then everyone started doing it, right? Yeah. The MLS has been a thing for before you were born, before I was born, probably. And so, like, people have been wholesaling for hundreds of years. I have a book here. What was that? How Real Estate Fortunes Made, David Bach, from the 70s. MLS was a thing there. He never talked about wholesaling on the MLS. He was off-market property guy too. And that was in the 70s. He was wholesaling in the 50s and 40s. So I want you guys to understand this, that like, this isn't this secret that like, that is so exclusive, because the word would have gotten out. SMS text blasting, it was good for about a year. Word went out, went crazy, right? Yeah. And so I want you guys to understand that like, people have been wholesaling on the MLS for a long time. It's not a secret. And if it was a super big secret, for every person doing well off market, there'd be an extra person doing well on market too. But it's not like that. There's so much more people doing well off market than on market. I agree. And so the way I look at it, it's like, hey, do you want the best chance of becoming successful, making your first 100K in wholesaling? Well, if 99% of them are doing it from off market, you should probably do that, right? And so it's like going out here and being like, how do I get good at basketball? Well, if 99% of NBA players worked hard and consistently trained, no, I don't like that. What's the person that kind of did nothing, but they were like a born athlete? I want to be that, but like, that's what people do. They're like, you know what? I know that most people have to work hard to be successful in life, but how can I get everything handed to me, right? That's all some people do. Guys, if the free market has chosen that off market is better for most wholesalers, why are you going against the grain? That's the one thing I can tell you. The next part here is control. You control the deal. My title company, I control the walkthroughs. I didn't even mention the cash buyer walkthroughs on an on-market property. Oh yeah, like how are you going to walk cash buyers through your MLS? Well, you can with a partner. Yeah, but you typically got to, when they're occupied, you got to get through the homeowner, and then you got to explain this to the realtor. And after you do it once or twice, how many lies can you make up to do this? Like, it's just, I'm talking about traditional wholesaling, guys. So most people, for the most part, that do MLS consistently, is they buy properties, they close on them with cash, and they do rehab, rental, whatever, and then they cash out at the end. And that's not the strategy we're talking about. And I'm telling, like, it's guys, the MLS wholesaling is very attractive, and this is different than trying to do like expired listings. That's a lot different. That's different. It's different. I'm talking about on market still. Okay, let's talk about the next part. Less competition with off market. Okay, there's more wholesale. No one's wholesaling on the MLS, guys. I tell you, on market, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of wholesalers on the MLS. How do I know this? Well, we actually list ugly houses on the MLS that we flip, right? Mm-hmm. I have to tell you that we have to train every single person lists any of our flip. It's so funny because every single time we list a property, it's so funny because we get 5 offers in the first hour. The first hour. It's the exact same ones every time. It's the same 5 people. There's 5 people in my like smaller market. All come from coaching, by the way. All from coaching, and they are. So if I list it for 200 grand, the offer's 100 grand. They'll close it cash, and it has to be hard. And it's a hard money proof of fund. And then they try to dictate and do control, use their attorney, their realtor. Yeah. It's like, so funny. And then we wholesale, and then we listed a property on the market in West Palm Beach, which is a bigger market. And holy moly, the amount of wholesalers! Yeah. I had 15 offers for 50% of the listing price, and I was like, you would make probably 80K on an assignment if you did that. Like they were just like so insultingly low. And I'm like, that's crazy. And so just the amount of MLS wholesalers out there, it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so when I talk to a motivated seller on a good deal, maybe they're speaking with 3 or 4 wholesalers. Like it's technically less competition when you really look at the and then if you get a really good list, like a probate, a lot less competition. On top of the wholesalers, you're also competing with actual cash buyers on the MLS. That's the big part too, because cash buyers don't want to be doing the marketing and stuff. You're dealing with the cash buyers, you're dealing with the on market, you're dealing with the first time home buyers, other realtors. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so it's a big problem. You have respect from your seller when you're doing off market properties. And that's a very different. I want you guys to understand this. When I talk to a cash buyer, you guys see me do the live calls. Hey, I'm a regular Joe just like you. I can connect with them. I can't connect with a realtor. I can't connect putting my makeup on, putting my power suit and getting all fancy, driving in my BMW that I can't afford to the thing.
Whatever you communicate to the listing realtor, they have to translate it how they feel it's fit, and then they'll tell your.
Have you played telephone as a kid? It's insane, right? It's like telephone. It's like, so I can say, hey, because of the work it needs, I'm going to have to buy this thing for 150. Okay, I'll relate to that seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, this guy gave you an insulting low offer. He wants to buy for 150 so he can make a profit off
guys,
of you.
This happens on every one of them. So
the deal fell through. It's like, no, because the realtor was the gatekeeper and decided to skew the words to what they think they can make money off the deal. It's insane. Let's talk about the cons of off market. There are cons. There's less houses, right?
Yep.
There's technically more work. What do I mean by like marketing work? Like you guys have to hustle, right? There's marketing.
You actually have to work. Like it's like anyone that tells you any type of real estate investing is no work, they're flat out lying to you, and they're probably going to sell you something. Because I've been doing this. I'm going on 21 years. Like every day's work. Like it's just it. Now I enjoy what I do, but I'm here to tell you it is not effortless. It is not mailbox money as so many people say. So you actually have to put in the work. But the good news is the work you put in wholesaling always or eventually will pay off. Yeah. I cannot say the same for MLS. I've met so many people, like I've made 1,000 offers and I haven't even got a call back. I'm like, you're marketing to on-market properties. They want to get the most that the market will yield today. And so you're either going to have to wait them out or you're going to have to triple your volume to even have a shot.
Yeah, it's insane. So let's talk about the next part here, okay? The next con is there's appointments and closing. A lot of people are scared to go in person and close a deal. It's scary. But the reason why I tell you to do is because that's how you make 20, 30, 40, 50K on a deal.
That's how you're going to make your most money.
That's how you do it. And that's it, guys. I promise this to the end, so let's talk about it really quick. How do you wholesale the right way on the MLS? There are some ways you can wholesale on the MLS, which are the right ways. I actually have a wholesaling course, Wholesaling MLS course for free at freewholesaling.com.
Oh my God.
And there are rules. If you are going to wholesale on the MLS, because people are not going to listen to what I have to say, unfortunately, and they're going to try to wholesale on the MLS. So we got the top right hand, freewholesaling.com. Okay. There are ways to wholesale on the MLS the right way. Now, that being said, I do agree completely that you can make money wholesaling on the MLS, but I think your time is best spent doing off market. You will eventually make more money doing off market than on market. But if you are going to heed my warnings and wholesale on the MLS, let me just give you some advice. What's the best way to wholesale on the MLS? You have to treat realtors like motivated sellers. That's the way you wholesale on the MLS if you're going to do it. And nobody ever talks about this, but as some of that wholesale on the MLS, I can tell you. Okay. So let's talk about this thing. Okay. You have to treat your realtors that are listing the properties like motivated sellers. And so what motivates realtors? Realtors only care about one thing. They care about money. And
I don't blame them for it either.
I'm going to get all the realtors.
I really don't blame it.
Screaming, oh no, we care about the client. No, you don't care about the client. If I look at the majority of wholesalers, they care about majority of realtors. They care about money. At the end of the day, that's what they care about. Realtors will take an offer that is not best for the client, but guarantees that they get the listing that guarantees that they get the deal sold so they can get their commission before their listing expires because the other person might go with another realtor. They will do that. It happens all the time. And if you're a realtor and you say I'm lying, it's not a lie. I know realtors that do this. So it's true that they'll do what's in their best pocketbook interest.
Well, unfortunately, that's the reality. It comes first. I don't even blame them for it. Honestly,
we're going to profit off it. So let me tell you how you profit off of it. Okay. Those are the realtors you want to talk to. So the way realtors and on-market properties work is if you're looking to sell your property, and I'm a realtor. Well, trademark. I got my pin on today. Yeah. I'm going to sign something. Says you basically, I'm not going to get in the legal thing on it, but you agree to let me exclusively list your property and I get a certain commission for the next 60 days, 90 days. Sometimes it's 30. 6 months is the average though. Okay. And so here's the thing. All right. So 6 months. All right. So that means for 6 months, I have exclusive for the property. Guess what happens when I'm in month 5 and the property's because I tell the client, I'm going to sell it to you this stupid price. Oh, of course, get you emotional because realtors care about money. And then boom, they list it. It's stuck for 5 months and the seller's not doing it, moving or anything. It's like, oh no, right? They keep cutting the price. Here's what realtors do. The property they know is going to sell for 150. They tell the client, we could sell this thing for 190 because the other realtor said they'll sell it for 180. I'll sell it to you for 190. Just sign on the dotted line. Doesn't sound good. Realtor gurus do that. Sign on the dotted line. I'll make you $1 million. Just pay me $5,000, right? Guess what happened? Okay, month one, no deal. Oh, we got to bring it down. Now it's down to 190. Sorry, 170, 160, and then they cut it down to 150 after 3 months, and then boom, they sell it because they don't need to tell the client it's only going to sell for 150. Now they're going to lie to you to get you to sign the dotted line because you're stuck with them, right?
I call it the coming to G's meeting.
It's kind of like that. So
we'll sign that, but we'll revisit the price 30 days.
Yeah. So that being said, if we're on month 4 or 5, the realtor's getting desperate because they're like, shoot, this person might go with their cousin Bethany that's in their ear on Christmas saying that she can sell it because she has buyers, right?
I can sell it.
Oh, shoot. And now my seller's getting a little agitated. They're getting a little upset. I could lose my commission. It's because the realtor only has one listing usually, right? It's everything to them.
Yeah.
It's the only amount of money they can have and they're caring about their money. If their listing agreement is coming up, they're getting desperate. I got to get rid of this thing. Yeah. And what did I say in the beginning? What do realtors only care about? Money. And so if I'm in a dual agency state and let's say the thing's listed for 160, okay? That 160 would be a 3% commission, $4,800. Now, if I offered 6%, so let's say I offer at 160, let's say I offered 112 for the property. That's really low. Let's say I offered 112, okay? Oh, shoot. Okay. Let's say it's listed for 175 actually. All right. I offer, so that would be a $5,200 commission. Now, if I do, let's say 123, I offer them, but for dual agency, guess what? They make $7,400. So they actually make $2,000 more going by my really lowball offer. So the realtor's like, wait, so you're telling me I'm going to make double the commission with this lowball offer and I can guarantee I get it sold? Perfect. They go to the seller to say, Mr. Seller, you got to take this as a deal of a lifetime. Yeah. And they know it's not best for the seller, but they'll be like, because I want double the commissions.
It might be best for the seller too.
And I might
move it.
Yeah. And I gotta do it before this listing is over. Yeah. That's how you get the deals because the seller has to be motivated and then the realtor has to be motivated. And that's how you wholesale in the MLS. So what do I mean by this? This means that the property has to be listed for at least 60 days. It has to just be kind of stuck.
Yeah. So if you guys took a course and it teaches you to like attack every product that comes on the market, you're literally wasting your time. I'm sorry, dude. You are not going to be heard in the first 20. You're not going to be heard in the first 30 days.
I want the most for it. Screw
Unless you're going to pay the full market price. And if you do, you're not wholesaling. You're speculating and I can't help you. Like there's nothing I can do.
Because the realtors have their ethics and their morals when it comes to making sure the seller gets the most of the money. Here's the thing. This is a very grotesque analogy, but it's true. A lot of people have their ethics and morals until they get really hungry. I'm telling you this straight up. People start doing crazy stuff when they get hungry and desperate, right? It's like any animal. Yeah. So for example, a bear is not going to attack. Like if I see a grizzly, they're not going to go attack unless it's a mama bear, right?
I'm not testing that.
If that bear is really hungry, they're not going to care. They're going to go attack me. That being said, realtors have their principles when it comes to what's best for the client. But once their commission gets in trouble, guess what happens? They will upheaval what they think the thing's going to be worth just so they can make the money. Yeah. Because they're getting hungry for the deal, right? So that's how you wholesale in the MLS. That's the same way I tell people to wholesale FSBOs because there's a listing. Make sure they're older. Because the first 60 days, I want what's best for the client and I want what's best for me. They won't even hear the dual agency because they know the client's not going to take it. Yep. But once they get a little more desperate, those are good. And so that's how I wholesale in the MLS. I mean, that's how I do the deals I do on there, but it's still not my favorite. But I can tell you that's the right way to do it. And kind of to end this up, I will tell you this, but wholesaling on MLS is not the thing of the future. I just tell you, everyone thinks the thing of the future.
It's not. It's honestly, it was never meant for that. And if you do it, it's like going down. You guys get black ice up there when it's cold. It's literally like trying to drive on like a black ice road because all the rules are different. Everybody wants full price. So you are fighting a battle. They want full price. You want deep discount. Like you can see where the clash is going to come. In theory, it sounds perfect. Like that's great. But I've been doing this 21 years. I do them. I mostly get my MLS deals off relationships with realtors, like the ones he described. And then there's another little trick where you can do pre-market, where if you go out and meet with realtors and say, listen, you ever get an ugly house or someone needs a ton of renovations,
listing,
bring it in. I call it kind of a pre-MLS. And you got a shot there. But once it goes on the market is who will pay the most and solve mostly the realtor's problem is going to get the deal. So if you want to pay the most, knock yourself out on MLS.